we just finished reading polar bears. Can anyone recall what color polar bears really are? Samuel?
Black.
Black. Good job. Why do they look white? Aiden?
They are.
Alina?
They have white tubes.
That's clear. Their hair is clear tubes, right? Correct, and it reflects the light, right?
Yep.
You wake up, Raiden. Raiden. You wake up. Raiden. You wake up and pay attention. Let's examine why polar bears hibernate when the mothers are pregnant. Can anyone remember? Jackson should remember because he thought 40 degrees was pretty warm. Why do they hibernate? Because it's cold outside, and when they have cubs, they don't want the cubs to be where, Jesse?
Outside.
Outside in the cold because it stays about 40 degrees in there, right? Let's propose that we live with polar bears. What are some ways we would have to adapt to be able to live there? Samuel? If we live with the polar bears just the way we are right now, how would we have to change to be able to live with them? Ava?
You have to be really, really warm.
It's going to be really, really warm, so we might have to have a really big coat, or blankets, or snowshoes. Clinton? You have to make your own jacket. You may have to kind of jacket. What might we have to gain? We have to gain a little bit of weight so we could survive, right?
Yep.
All right.
You would have to eat like fish or something. Yeah. I would probably bring some wood to fire. Probably fire too.
All right, first grade. I am passing out a polar bears paper. We are going to read this story together, but what is the first thing we do to the page when we get it?
Put our name on it.
Put our name on it. Make sure we're sitting up. All right, polar bears live near the North Pole. Polar bears have yellow-white fur. They also have a black nose. They have small eyes and black lips. They have a long neck and a small, narrow head. They have thick fur covering their feet so they can walk on ice. Can anyone recall what the 4-inch layer beneath the polar bear's fur was that helped keep them warm? We just read it in our story. Malachi? Elena, do you remember? Their skin, what was underneath it? Fat, or what's another name for the fat that was underneath their skin? Ava? Starts with a B. Clinton? We were about to say it. Lane?
Blubber?
Blubber.
Blubber.
Blubber helps keep them warm, right? Most polar bears do not sleep all winter. They stay out and hunt. They are meat eaters. They hunt seals, walruses, and birds. When she is ready to have cubs, a mother polar bear goes inland and digs a hole in the snow and then lets snow cover her. Her warm breath keeps a little hole open in the snow. When her cubs are born, they have very little fur and pink skin. Baby polar bear cubs stay with their mother for almost 2 years. She teaches them how to hunt and swim. Mother polar bear is very strong and often carries or swims with her cubs on her back. Father polar bear does not help with the cubs. All right, now that we have read this story, I want you to choose a few of your favorite things that you've learned about polar bears. We are going to apply what we learned by writing facts about polar bears. You have scrap paper. You don't need to number them 1, 2, 3. You're just going to write 3 facts. We read the book together, and you also have this sheet to look at. You may start when you get it. You do need to put your name on it because you are going to turn it in. Because you need to put this up. We're doing this. You can put your name at the bottom, that's fine. Or there's space on top. Yes, it needs to be 3 sentences. So what do your sentences need to have?
A capital letter and period.
Capital letter and period. Yes. 3 facts about the polar bears. Remember we talked about what color their skin is. We talked about what they eat. You may start once you get your paper. Yes. When you feel confident you have your 3 sentences, you may turn it in. While you're working on your sentences, I'm going to be passing out supplies to make our polar bears for tomorrow. Okay? But I don't want you to touch them. Let's review real quickly. What is a fact? Lane.
A word
So like a fact that you learned about polar bears, meaning I love polar bears. Is that a fact? No, because that's an opinion, right? Facts are polar bears' skin is really black. Or polar bears' fur appears white. That would be a fact. A fact is something that has to be that we can prove, that we can read. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to have your name on it too.
Name on this too?
Yes, you need to put your name on your sentences and your polar bear page. I'm just going to give you a couple more minutes to work on that. And that's what you're supposed to be doing is getting that good. That's good. What? Thing? T-H-I-N. Okay.
Can I put also have a black note?
They do have a black nose, so that would be fine. first grade, let's go ahead and put that to the side. We are going to start on making our polar bear, yes. Alright, let's get the papers to the side and I want this in front of you. This is going to be our polar bear's face. Don't open the paper, keep it the way it is, and you'll see a half circle or half oval drawn. We're going to cut on the line. You may go ahead and do that. Once you have it, it should be open like this. Yes, go ahead and open it. Then you all should have a tan piece of paper. This is his snout. Let's go ahead and cut that out. Once you have him cut out, you're going to glue the snout on the face like this. So once you have glue on your snout, you're going to glue it like this. Yeah, it looks perfect. Then you have your black nose. Go ahead and cut out that. Just like this, Jackson. And you're going to put the nose right on the snout. And I want you to pass out the paws and the ears because they look a lot alike. I'm passing out the ears right now. Okay? I'll give you a couple minutes to catch up on that. Yes. You're all stuck together. Yes, once you get them, you may go ahead and cut them out.
I am very fortunate with this group of first graders. We do have 21 students in our class, so sometimes classroom management can be sometimes an issue, but usually this group of students handles it very well. Before I started videoing my lesson, I did read the book Polar Bears by Mark Newman. I decided not to include that on my video just for time reasons because it was a pretty lengthy book. It gave lots of information about polar bears and allowed us to get our background knowledge to start our lesson. It is an age-appropriate nonfiction book that the first graders really enjoyed listening to. I did start my video right after I started asking my essential questions. I did this so you would see my essential questions included in the video. I actually had my first encounter with a student falling asleep during one of my lessons in my video, and I was beginning to wonder if he was going to wake up when he finally popped his head up. He does have a lot going on at home, so we try to take that into account when making our choices, but I'm really glad that he decided to wake up and enjoy my lesson. As I mentioned before, this group of students are awesome. I knew they would enjoy the planned lesson and do a great job completing it. Lately, the students have been a little more talkative than usual and have had a hard time staying on task. So in my video, I just really focused on keeping them busy and keeping them engaged in what I was doing. Even during the morning work, we may have a reading or math page that will have the students cut and glue what they are doing. So I knew that they probably wouldn't have any problem with the cutting and the pasting of this project. My journey from day one has centered on me becoming more confident. I've come a long ways since the beginning of my internships, but I can feel myself really still needing to work on this. I think maybe that was the one thing that I really took away from my video, was watching myself teach, was that I do have a long ways to go, and improving myself and being more confident will probably always be a struggle until I get more used to being in front of the students. My plan for future lessons is to continue working hard at being confident and being fully prepared in my material.